Hey, what's up guys? Little man with a big opinion here. Today's video, I'm going to go over the leg workout that I do to, keep me in shape, try to prevent the dad bod from coming out. And, you know, it's the mostly free thing that I do uh, when it comes to prepping because I think one of the most important things, and, there are tons of memes out there about the people that have all of this gear and they're kitted out and they're a big obese guy that can run 20 yards and then he is winded, and some guy wearing blue jeans with a bare bones condor plate carrier and dad's hunting rifle takes him out, and now he has the biggest loot drop of his life. So I do legs once a week, and then once a month, at this point, I go on a ruck or a hike. And I say that because at this point I'm doing more than 6 miles. So if you are just now getting into working out, or preparing your body for whatever scenario is thrown at you, hopefully this video will help give you some ideas for a workout. I will preference this with, I have built all of the workouts that I do off of other YouTube videos that I've found, articles that I've read, and just the workouts that I've done where other people have planned them out. And then, the workouts that I planned out, when I was leading PT. So, all that being said, when I first started, I was doing roughly 3 miles of a ruck with 20% of my body weight. So 20% of my body weight would be 25 pounds. Because I'm at roughly, well, at the time I was closer to 150. Now I'm sitting at about 138. And it's from doing these rucks that I've helped, shed that weight. If you are not used to carrying any amount of weight, then you might be starting with just going for a longer walk. And a longer walk is going to be in that 3 to 5 mile range. And there's nothing wrong with starting out, just putting a regular backpack on and putting 5 pounds in it. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. We all start somewhere. To me, it doesn't, I don't know, I'm not a big sciencey person on this, but I will typically stick within a certain mileage and up the weight to where it's closer to 30% of my body weight. So you start out with 3 miles, you hit that 30% of your body weight point, and then you start to up the mileage. And depending on how you do your workouts, sometimes you might want to lower the poundage but try to decrease the time it takes to do that. So there's a big difference in, say you're going to do 3 miles and you're carrying 25 pounds, doing it at a 15-mile pace versus carrying 35 pounds, same 3 miles, but doing it in a 20-minute mile pace. It's really up to you how you want to establish that. If you're trying to go for a very quick time, then you're not going to, increase the weight as rapidly. But if you are trying to, develop, the mileage, to simulate bugging out, then you will want to kind of alternate between the miles that you do and increasing the amount of weight that you have. I would say a sweet spot is being able to do 12 miles if you're doing it at a 20-minute pace. The simple math is you're doing 3 miles an hour. So 3, 6, 9, 12. It's going to take 4 hours. And hitting that 30% of your body weight. So if you weigh 150 50 pounds, that's carrying 45 pounds. And, you know, all of us have, you know, different bodies. I'm 5'2". If I'm going to do that 12 miles in under 4 hours, I'm going to do a lot of jogging. You know, when I was at Knox, the track that we used had a lamppost that, if I remember correctly, they told us they were 100 yards apart. And for me to hit that time, I would, you know, at the very beginning, it's jog until you're tired and you walk till you catch your breath. But then it's jog 100 yards, you know, speed walk 200, jog 100 more yards, speed walk 200. Depending on the type of person you are, one of my really good friends was 6'4", and I'm pretty sure he never had to jog, and he would make that time no problem. It also depends on, 6'4", weighing 220 pounds versus, 5'10" and weighing 220 pounds. There's a big difference. It comes down to, how much muscle you have, how much body fat you have. The key here is make sure you stretch very well, make sure you stay hydrated, make sure you're getting your electrolytes, and don't push yourself and hurt yourself. And another factor in this is the equipment that you're using. I've done rucks in standard issue combat boots, and I've done rucks in boots made by other people that meet compliances. I have a friend of mine that did the Pacific Crest Trail, the Appalachia Trail, and she was doing it in like tennis shoes or like hiking shoes, but didn't go above the ankle type things. And I've seen people that wear extremely tall hiking shoes that are bulkier, but they've got bad ankles. And like some of the most lightweight boots that I've seen are like the Oakley Assault and the ones that Nike made. There is a plethora of options for footwear. Just make sure you get something that fits you and you find comfortable. And then the same thing goes for the packs that you're carrying. I've carried military issue pack. I've carried North Face and Osprey pack. And what I can say for most of those is I tend to get a women's pack because I'm a shorter person. The torso measurements that they make for the men's pack, most of the time I have to buy the smallest one, which means I have the least amount of space to do stuff. Meanwhile, a lot of the women's packs, they're made for smaller torsos that are comparable to the leaders that you can get in some of the bigger men's packs. So once those are sized, and it's up to you the kind of socks and what else you plan on wearing. But equipment wise, you should be good to go. There are plenty of training regimens out there. Some people incorporate running, doing a weighted run, and rucking into their combined cardio. That's one side of the leg workouts. And really, you don't have to push it past the 12-mile point, but once you get up to that 12 miles, it's a safe bet to do that once a month. And if you want to fluctuate the training, instead of doing a 12-mile that month, you could do a 4-mile where you're trying to get it done as quickly as you possibly can. And maybe you do a 4-mile where you're pushing past that 30% of your body weight. Maybe you're getting 35-40% of your body weight. I've seen people carry packs that are 80-90 pounds, and it's pushing 50% of their body weight. You don't want to do that a bunch, because it kind of sucks, but you're also putting a lot of stress on your joints. But figure out what works best for you. On the other side of that, there are plenty of workouts that you can do in a gym, in a home gym that you've got a great budget for. For me, a lot of it is body weight and dumbbell workouts. So, depending on where you live, it'll be, different for each person. But I've got this really nice ledge right here for my fireplace. And two of the workouts that are a staple of my leg workouts is a weighted step up and calf raises. And I've got a nice mantle that I can kind of balance myself out for the calf raises. Uh, and then, the step up is just a regular step up. If you have stairs, you can use your stairs. If you need to get a bench or, even make something out of a few pieces of wood that you can do a step up. Those are two of the big staples. The next thing involves a bench, just one that you can lay down on. It doesn't have to have anything for a bar or anything, but you can also use that for the step ups. But I like to use it specifically for, a Romanian split squat, just because, that's a little bit too low. The couch is a little bit too high and soft. The benches are made at about the right height to be doing that. And then, so that gets us into 3 of the exercises. The next ones are a goblet squat, so using a little bit of your arms, but that allows for a fairly decent amount of weight to be held. The largest dumbbell I have is 60 pounds, and locking your arms into this position, you can get a fairly decent amount of weight, and it also helps your back a bit. The other exercises is lunges, just doing a good old regular squat, jump squats, and then I like to throw in a couple of exercises for hip flexors. So I'll do flutter kicks, leg raises, toe touches. It gets a little bit into the abdomen, but it mostly helps out on the legs. You combine all that together with what I currently have for a gym setup. One of the things I purchased recently was one of those, it's a bar with hook points that has different resistor bands that allows you to do just a traditional squat. It's got 40 different other exercises you can do with it, but it allows you to do, more of a traditional squat. You throw all that together, you mix up throughout. So you mix up, once a week, the order that you're going to do those exercises. And what I typically do is 1 week that I do the leg exercise, I'm going for the heaviest amount of weight that I can with a set number of reps. And then the next week, I do a lower amount of weight, and I do it, a certain number of sets until failure. And going back and forth that way, one way helps kind of try to tear that muscle. That way it can come back, larger and stronger. And the other type is more of a fat burning and a toning. And doing it that way, at least for myself, I've noticed that I have very little leg fat left. And from what I can tell, really the last few places I have any fat on my body is a little bit on my lower arms and, in my stomach and love handle area. But, this coming April will be 3 years that I figured out I was diabetic. At that time, I weighed 188 pounds. At 5'2", it was like 36 or 37% body fat. This leg workout, I've been doing for over 6 months, this specific regiment. Uh, the rucking has been going on, for 4 or 5 years. And that in combination with the other workouts that I've done and changing the way that I eat, I've dropped 51 pounds in a almost 3 year time period. And I have gotten stronger. I don't do a lot of my leg workouts over the summer because I work at a Boy Scout camp where I'm the aquatics director, where I mostly focus on swimming and running. But when I'm at home, that's the home workout that I do. There was about a 5 month time period where we had a gym membership and I would do different leg workouts. But what I would say the big thing is you're doing something. Even if it is body weight working out, you're toning the muscle that you have there. Throw in a little bit of dumbbells, a little bit of any type of weight, and you will build muscle. I'm not going to win any bodybuilding or strongman or CrossFit competitions, but I am keeping myself better prepared for if anything, happen, crap hit the fan. Last thing that I'll add to this is at some point in this leg workout, you also need to do some sort of running. So I technically do 2 leg workouts a week because I try to do some sort of cardio, even if it's just walking to the track and doing a few laps around the track, or doing a 10 to 20 minute timed run, or timing my mile, which, it's the beginning of the year, we're setting goals. I'd really like to get back into a 6 minute mile. The last timed mile that I did was a 7:15. So I feel confident that I can shave off 16 seconds and get back into that. If you're interested, I can record a video of me doing the exercises. It's not going to be anything fancy like the other channels that you see on YouTube, but if you want a step-by-step walkthrough of the exercises, I can do that. But with that being said, I think this video has gone on long enough. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy what we're doing with the channel, hit the subscribe button. And lastly, if you got a friend or family member that benefit from these discussions, share the channel with them. And with that, catch you in the next one.